Hello YouTube. In this video I want to show you the React library Jotai. So maybe you ask yourself, what exactly is Jotai? Jotai is a library that is used for global state management, which is really important in React because we don't have something in vanilla React that is really good for global state management. But first of all, global state management is something that we need because normally data can just flow from one component down or up. But then when we have a more complex tree, so maybe something down here, another component, and then want to pass data up, we would have to go through this component, and then maybe down here if you want to manipulate the heading from this component. And what global state is that we have one state like somewhere else that we can write to and read from within any component in our entire app. There are multiple libraries that you can use. I only know of one other library, which is React Redux, but it adds a lot of boilerplate code, which is maybe you have just a small application where you don't really need that much boilerplate code, or it is not worth it writing. There you can just use Jotai, which is a really minimalistic approach to global state management. So now, how do we use Jotai? So Jotai uses atoms to store values globally. So let's create our first atom. So here in this example I've just created two components, one just simple input form with a text field and one heading which is just going to display our text. So I want to store a string in an atom. So let's just call it text atom, and it is equal to atom. And in here, in these parentheses, you pass the default value, which is just an empty string. Now we also have to make it accessible to other files, so export it, and now we can use it. You can use 3 hooks to manipulate and get the value of an atom. So let me just show you all of them. So here you want to do basically the same syntax as you would use for your use state. So you would not do use state, but here you just do use atom, and in here you just pass in the atom. So it is text atom, and now you have the value itself and the set function. So I've just prepared this code. So in the text field I want to set the text to the value that we put into the text field. And now to use this one too, I'm just going to display it here. Let's run it. And now just test it out, and it works. Cool. So now, I don't know why I do this all the time. Here I just want to set the text. So I wouldn't really use the text here. So there we can use the second hook, which is called use set atom. And you don't pass in this. So it's just one function. And this is gonna set the value of this atom. And now in this component, I want to access the global state and just retrieve the value of the atom. So let's just do a new constant text. We could just use Atom because the first value is the getter, but we're just gonna use this hook and pass in the text Atom, which by the way, I didn't really talk about this. I always do it in a separate file. You can also just create it up here. Just make sure that you don't do an Atom here, because this code gets re-rendered every time and it would not be stable, but it would recreate every time. But you want to have a fixed reference as an Atom to be even feasible for global state. So in here, let's just do an H3 and just pass in the text. And I've used both of them here. So now let's run it. And now test it out. And it works. So now I've shown you all the hooks. Now I also want to show you how to use the provider, because this, you can just use it without the provider. So this is providerless code that we just written. But here I want to create a new store. So let's create store. And this store has a few functions. So it has get, set, and sub. Get and set is used to get or set the value of an atom, and subscribe is used to subscribe to an atom. So we want to subscribe to our atom, and it is called text atom. And as the second one, you just pass in the listener function. So let's just do it like this. And we also have to wrap our app inside of a provider. Store, nope. Store is our store that we've created up here. So now every atom that is used inside this app component is gonna be in the store. So now we can access it with the store. And we want to console log our text atom. So let's just say text has changed to, and now we just have to get the value. So store.get text atom. It's still running, so let's open up our console and let's just start typing. And you can see every time the value changes, we get a console log here. Now, as you can see, this one returns a function, and this is the unsubscribe function. So we can just do it like this. Unsub is equal to store.sub, and because like when we, for some reason later down the line, don't want to be subscribed to this atom anymore, we can just call this function. So let's just do a button here, and on click, just gonna call the unsub. So now test it out, unsubscribed, and you can see it's not logging anything anymore. So yeah, this is basically everything that Jotai has to offer, which I really like because it's really simple. And I hope you've liked this tutorial too. So if you did, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. If you have anything to criticize, just leave a comment. And I hope I can see you in the next video.